Oh, there we go. Oh my God, here we are. We're back. It's another week 7. Oh my God, here we go. Ready? Here we go. Boom. Maybe not. I don't know.
You
We're
didn't give me
trying.
enough warning.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know. It's so abrupt. I don't know. One of these weeks, I'm gonna get to it. I promise. I swear to you all. Come hell or high water. Instead of doing those damn TikTok videos, the remixing what we're saying, I'm gonna fix that damn. I'm trying to do a whole new thing, right? I've been going looking at stock footage of doing some crazy things. Uh, I'll get to it. As you can see, kids, I don't know about y'all, but I'm not in the house because we've had some technical difficulties. The whole
It's
house internet, I'm on DSL. I don't have real internet down here, so I'm hoping my Wi-Fi or my
Wait,
cell
you guys have
service.
DSL down there?
Oh yeah,
dial-up.
I'm the last house in the hood that can actually get any interwebs, and it's DSL. I can only get speeds up to 10 megabytes per second. So that's why
This
usually
this
during
is America, right?
yeah. Well,
Okay.
welcome to rural Missouri. You know what I'm saying?
Missouri.
Um, and then last week, actually after the show or whatever, it was 5 o'clock. Verizon dropped service. Nobody in the neighborhood had any cell service whatsoever. Like all of our stuff said no service, nothing.
Oh, it's
Okay.
Russia.
Thank God though
Oh.
I had Wi-Fi because I'm texting Kelly and everybody. I'm like, are you guys like? Is everybody? Are we dying? What's happening? Like, is
Are
this
we?
the end? What's
Well,
going
he
on?
kept sending me text messages going, "Are you getting this?" And I'm like, "Am I getting what?"
Well, because I'm like screaming out to Mel because she's out in her office and her little hotspot went down, and everybody's out in the neighborhood. So I'm like, I'm getting on the Wi-Fi thing and I'm messaging Verizon, and they're trying to treat it like it was a local device issue. I'm like, so do you want me to have the 5 neighbors reset all their devices too? They're like, there's no outage in the area. I'm like, interesting, really. And then we found out one of the neighbors they have you can get a Wi-Fi internet thing. It's like a little portable router that goes off the cell towers data stuff. Well, that internet service provider was down, and they happened to go off the Verizon towers. Well, they were honest and said there was 10 towers down. So as I'm chatting to Verizon, I'm like, well, one of the Wi-Fi people, they mentioned that 10 towers were down. Would that happen to be why we have no Verizon? And they were like, no, we don't have any outages. I'm like, why are you lying? Right? And I'm like fighting, and I finally had to hang up because it was going to come to like me, cussing the person out. It wasn't cute. But so, anyways, guys, so today I had Tyler turn 9. It was a
Oh.
busy day. He wanted the vodka sauce ravioli bake. It was a busy day.
It's a
And
good
then my day
choice.
took a wild turn. I don't know if you noticed or not, but one of my friends, Nicole Remedy, you may recognize the name. Her sister's Leah. She was on The King of Queens. She was on The Talk.
They remedy.
Yeah. She wants to come on with us and she wants to talk
Lados?
all about how she ended up this way and how she got away from
Nicole.
Scientology.
Oh.
Nicole. So it's Leah's sister.
So the whole
Uh,
family was in Scientology, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she wants to come on and join. Her
Their
and I
mom
are
brought
part of this wellness company. I've been using their products for a couple of years. And we've kind of bonded over that. And I mean, her and I've known each other for quite a few years now. But we kind of connected over that. And today I was like, had some questions about some stuff on there. Um, and we were talking about this show in particular because she's done the elder one. And she was like, oh my God, that sounds right up my alley. I want to write a book. I want to come on. So that's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for
Nice.
Hey.
that. So that's my big news. What about you guys? What's been going on? What's happening? How was your week?
Well, I guess I can take that one first, right? I mean,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
go,
I,
Kelly.
I apologize that well, first of all, who's all here today? I mean, because if
Oh,
you're
yeah,
joining
see,
us
I'm
and
so
you're not,
bad.
I know if you're just listening and you're not watching, we've got
Yeah, that was me, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, Kelly, Brian,
Sorry.
and Kristen. Um, we did get a lead on Dana though, and he's in Ecuador, but I think he's aged a little. I want to know what you guys think.
Sometimes you end up getting where you want to go and then find out when you get there that you don't want to be where you're at. And then you feel like this is all just a waste of time. But just remember, if you never got there, then you'd always be wanting to get there, and then you don't know you don't want to be there until you get there. So sometimes you just got to go where you don't want to go. Just know that that's not where you want to be. Okay. Have a super freaking awesome rest of your day and stuff. Okay, bye.
So I want to thank Dana for joining us from Ecuador.
I think he's aged a little bit in Budapest. I don't know what they got in the water over there.
Budapest.
Girl.
Little shout out to our friend Rodney from TikTok for
Yeah, I
his
saw that
Dana
video, and I
likeness.
was like, I sent it to Kelly, and I was like, tell me this is not Dana's long lost relative. The way he talked,
Yeah.
like, it's a really great day.
Does he have family down there? In Ecuador?
Brian, no.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know where he's
No,
from.
girl, no. He just going away to go do shrooms or something with the people. You know what I mean? He's gonna go have one of those magical experiences.
It's the
and
journey.
shit, like,
Yes, he's
journey.
having like a Brian. We really do need a whole clip of just your facial expressions. I love you,
Okay.
man.
Well, he knows you can do that in Orlando, right?
This will be
right.
I'm just saying.
Probably in Jeffrey's
You know what?
backyard.
I don't know how I know that, but you know.
You know what they do? I didn't know they got a chicken of the woods or something where it's like shrooms that grow, and it's like chicken. They eat it
Starts
down
with an
here.
A, I think.
People forage in the woods.
It's a
People go out there in
mushroom.
the woods
Yeah,
and
like
forage.
it's a thing that everybody
Lions,
goes
snake.
foraging through the
Oh
woods.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's like looks like there's one that looks like a loaf of bread, and then there's this other big thing that looks like
There's
it's
a whole
orange, and they chicken of the woods, and it's
there's
a
a
mushroom.
whole TikTok subculture.
Chicken of the sea.
foragers. It's a whole TikTok subculture.
So is
It's
it
a
really
frickin-
chicken?
No, it's a
Just kidding.
mushroom.
I'm picking on Jessica Simpson.
Oh yeah. Christopher, you don't know what you signed up for today, boo. You don't even know.
I don't.
Missouri man. I can't wait to be back in New York in a few weeks.
Missouri Mountain Man.
So I've spent the week having the COVID again.
Oh, Jesus.
That's why I wasn't with you guys last week. I'm still not doing awesome. The symptoms are not relenting. It's I know a lot of people who had it in the fall said it was pretty mild. This wasn't that. So it's the first day that this is the first day that I put something other than pajamas on my body. So you guys should feel special.
Thank you.
I guess there's another, it's called Omna Delta virus or
She got the
variant or
Omna
something.
Delta Crypticana like.
I got
I'm like,
all the
damn.
things. Basically, I could check all the boxes on all the symptoms. So, yeah.
So I went fishing for COVID this weekend.
You did. Where'd you go?
We went to Boston.
Oh,
We took the baby.
Oh,
There
great.
you go.
We rode the subway, you know, the whole thing. We did the whole thing.
It's the tea in Boston.
The tea, yeah, the tea.
Did you put like the blanket over the thing so
Yeah,
like,
of course.
you had a barrier?
Yeah, on the tea you still have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
But like we didn't anywhere else have to wear a mask. We went out to eat. I don't know, it was fun. Girl, I'm not scared of that shit. I've been fucking triple vaccinated. I'm not scared of it.
well, I wasn't.
Pfizer says you need to get a fourth now.
I'm not worried. I'm a healthy person. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, well, I didn't
So
expect to get
crazy.
it again either. So, and I got to tell you, it was not fun. Not fun at all. So,
When you've had your booster,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You got your booster? Yeah, I just had mine Friday. That thing kicked my ass on Saturday.
That's good.
It handed it to me on a platter.
That
And it
means
was
you're
a whole
building
lot
immunity.
of ass. Like I was laying in the bed rolling around moaning. Like those kids could have been sticking a butter knife in a light socket. I didn't care. Go ahead, whatever you want to do. I don't care. I don't take my credit card. You can order a Maserati, whatever you need to do. Just give me 10 minutes. Like I can't stand up right now. I was man sick.
so, Kristen, your week.
Yeah, girl.
My week's pretty boring. Well, not pretty boring. I got a new job. So we shall see how that
We'll
goes. I
talk
start
about that in a minute.
Yeah, I don't start till the end of the month. So
All right.
other than that, it was pretty
So,
standard.
so you got a second
So-
job.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, little trigger sensitive there. Yeah, so I mean, along those lines, let's check in. How are we feeling today?
Well,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Kristen.
I started out with a migraine, so I was a solid 9 this morning.
Oh,
Ooh.
Solid 9 this morning. Somewhat of a 7, and I'm right now. I'm back down to like a 1. I'm pretty relaxed right now.
oh, good. I spent the first 2/3 of the day at a 7. Just so you know, if your stomach is a little uneasy, citrus fruit is a really bad idea. I'm just going to share that little tip.
There you go.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard ginger is good for a bad stomach.
It
Ginger.
is. It is. And I actually have some ginger tea right now.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
But somebody may have thought an orange was the better choice.
I don't know why I
It's
did
because of the
that.
vitamin C.
Yeah, something about it, but it was not a good plan anyway.
I'm guessing. I don't know.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
girl.
So I'm
Bless your
also
heart.
still
Bless you.
so between being nauseous, throwing up, and just being exhausted altogether, I'm great. Really great. So good. Brian,
I'm having a 1.
you're having a 1. I love that you're having a 1.
That's good.
And definitely a 6 because it was a long weekend. We had a baby shower yesterday too, so it was like, oh my god.
Holy cow.
Whose baby shower?
A friend of ours, her name's January. I don't know if you know her or not.
Oh, Jordan's sister?
Yeah, Jordan's sister. We call her Febby.
Yeah.
Her name's January, but we call her Febby.
All right.
I'm sure there's a story there.
Mm-hmm.
All
There
right.
probably is, but it's my husband's friend, so I don't know it.
There's some honesty for you.
Her name's January, but she was born in February.
There you go. That's a good one. I'm going with that one.
All right. So Jeffrey, yeah.
You know what? I want to say, I think besides, normal chaos with the children, it's been pretty good. So I'm going to say a 1. And today was insane with the birthday prep and the show stuff, but it was productive. And I ended up making a boatload of money, and I'm going to get to go to Mexico for free. So if you want to know how to get to go to Mexico for free, you got a month and a half to do so. Message me and I'll let you know. Brian, by the way, you are going to get to go to Mexico for free because I'm going to sign your ass up when we're done with this.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Here, husband, have the baby.
There you go. So one of the things that we put on pause for last week was start diving into the book. For anybody who's joining us for the first time or doesn't know, we decided we were going to tackle this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Thought in the context of COVID and the last few years, a lot of us have probably slipped into some new habits, not all of them wonderful, or just things that we've put on hold and not putting ourselves first. So this is our first episode in which we're diving into the first 2 or 3 chapters or so of the book. So I've been listening to it on Audible. Brian, what about you?
The same thing, Audible.
Audible. And Jeffrey?
Likewise, Audible.
And Kristen?
Audible, though I do have the hard copy.
Okay, cool. All right. So what was your initial reaction to it?
Who? Me?
Yes.
Well, I started listening walking to the dogs, and I found his story very heartbreaking. Just, his parents having been to the hospital 10 years earlier with his sister, and then him going not as a parent, I can't imagine. But then, slowly listening to him and the things that he started to do at Denison and having to do these small little increments of things for him to learn how to do so he was successful. It very much reminded me of Craig and the things that he needed to do for himself and the things that we needed to do to set him up for success when I was still working. And the disease for him, he has ALS, for anybody that's new, to make him successful while I was still working. So we would prep these little things and do these little things that became habit for us. it's such a random thing, but I would open all his Gatorades before I left to go on a trip. So it would be easier for him. And it was just, these everyday habits that he stated, that you do these everyday things that you don't think of, like brushing your teeth is a habit, but we do it every day, a few times a day. But, so the newer things that I started to do was like walking the dogs 2 miles every day to make sure that I'm doing something for myself and doing something for them. Um, you know, Eating a big salad every day. I mean, it sounds so silly and mundane, but I'm doing it for my health to make sure that I'm doing something for myself.
Totally.
Um, for me, especially during COVID and all of this time, I found it really hit me last year where my anxiety level, and I think it was also the career I was in, my anxiety level and my depression hit an all time low and high at the same time. Um, where I needed to get a sense of control of something. And it wasn't until like January of this year that I was like, okay, something has to break because I can go from 0 to 60 in about 2 seconds. And something needs to happen. And my moods were affecting Craig's moods and vice versa. So it really,
Yeah.
reading this book, I was already doing the small steps of forming these habits for myself to take control of my anxiety because it's something that I can control. I can control what goes into my body. I can control how I move my body to
Right.
kind of focus my mind. So I'm loving it so far. So that's just me.
Jeffrey, it's interesting that Kristen mentioned January because I feel like you went through end of last year, you went through a similar awakening when you just said, you know what, I can't keep doing the same things and expect a different
Yeah.
result. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it was kind of actually, I think Brian and I were just kind of going through it at the same time. And we were having like daily phone calls of just neither one of us were in a good spot, And it was kind of holding a mirror up to me. And I was like, holy shit, like this is not okay. Like I'm at a place where I don't want to die. Like I've never been a person that was um, directly like suicidal in a sense, right? Like I've had it in my family quite a bit. It was just the anniversary of the murder suicide, my grandparents. Um, but I've never been a person that felt like suicide was an answer for me. However, I realized though I was just as guilty as I didn't really want to live, right? I didn't have the motivation to live anymore. I was just kind of waiting to die, right? I was just going through the motions of every day of getting up, doing what I had to do for the kids, kind of sitting on my ass, letting me gain all the weight back, not doing anything and just being stagnant. I wasn't doing the things I needed to do to grow the show. I wasn't doing anything for myself. I wasn't taking care of me. I wasn't doing anything that I should have been doing. And it was like in that moment, um, and it was like, all right, dude, you got to do something here. This is this moment of like, you're gonna keep doing this, or you're gonna change something. And I picked up the phone. I called the therapist, and it's like, I got to go back on medication. Like it's time. It's been a year and a half. This isn't working. Um, and that was kind of the beginning of it. And then it kind of snowballed into, all right, how am I going to get this uncensored radio back on track? How am I going to turn the show around? How are we going to get viewers to come back? All right, how am I going to get the kids back on track? Not necessarily in that order. The kids came first. Just saying.
They always have. I think that was a big part of it for you, is that you were making them appropriately the priority, but at the expense of your own wellness.
Well, and it was like taking my life back, right? Because for 5 years they have been the center of everything. As that happens when you're a parent, but at the same time, I'm still allowed to be me. I should still be allowed to have some semblance of Jeffrey,
Mm-hmm.
and not just my whole identity should not be their father. I don't think anybody's expected to be that, and that's what it's kind of become. Like, oh, I can't do that because If I leave them with a babysitter, they're going to throw a tantrum, and then the next day is going to be hell on earth. Like, no, we're not doing this anymore. We're not doing none of this anymore. Like, we're going to turn this around. We're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to find solutions. We're going to fix the problems, and we're going to get through this shit. Because this is not a quality of life for any of us.
Mhm.
Well, one of the examples that the author mentions early on in the book, after the introduction, I think it was, talks about the net impact of making 1% improvements, that it doesn't have to be the big
Yeah.
changes, but it's the tiny changes. And if you
Yeah.
continue to improve by 1% every day for a year, you wind up improving your capacity or whatever it is you're working on by 37 times.
Yep.
But
It's a big number.
Yeah.
but conversely, it works just as much against you in losing that 1% or bad habits that you perpetuate,
Yeah.
and that you can, and that the net effect of that is so hard to overcome for so many of us. Got a couple comments here, a couple shout outs. Christopher Cox is back. So, hey, said he's looking for some classic Jeffrey stories this week. Well, you'll get them, that's for sure. And Lashana is joining us. Hello, Lashana. Sorry, I'm just seeing those comments now. I apologize. I didn't see them earlier. Jeffrey and I had to switch roles tonight with who was guiding the Enterprise.
I'm
Because of
back
technical
to homo on the move. I'm outside again, kids, like every summer.
Homo on the move.
But I think that the thing that I found most interesting, I don't know if it was chapter 2 or 3, was when he got into identity.
Chapter
And
3.
not,
Oh, I thought
yeah,
that was 2.
and how fascinating it was, is especially like as a fat person, right? If you think about, I'm going to say this all wrong. I am going to say it all wrong. The goal, if you're just focused on your goal and
Right.
not of like, okay, how do I focus on who do I want to become?
Yeah, you're focused on the outcome.
The outcome.
Yeah, instead of focusing on the outcome, focus on who do I want to be. And I thought that was actually rather ingenious.
No, Brian was right. That was chapter 2, and it
Yeah.
was the 3 principles were outcomes, process, and identity, and how most of us approach things by looking for the outcome first.
Yeah.
Which is the outcome is what you get, the process is what you do, and the identity is what you believe. And that was key, I think. So many of us set a goal and we go chasing after the goal, but we don't do anything to change our belief system or how we think of ourselves.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think, and that's the biggest problem. And I think I identified with that so much because that's always been my thing, right? I set the goal. Okay, I want to own sub shops and I want to make this amount of money. That's the goal. That's the goal. This is the goal. This is the goal. And I always go to the goals, but I'm never changing what my perception is of me. I change it on the outside so everybody sees what I want them to see, right? So they're like, oh, well, you're so strong. You're so tough. But that's not who I see.
Yeah, exactly.
So how can I ever really be that person?
You don't see it.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, there it is. There it is. That's why I spent 3 years in therapy going, I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am.
Looking at yourself in the mirror, like you have to turn it around on yourself and say, would you say that to a friend? What you say to yourself, would you say that to one of your friends? Would I say the things that I say to myself to any of you? And the fact is, no, I would never say the things that I say to my own self to anybody that I love or respect, ever. And we have to have that same love and respect for ourselves.
And it's funny because it's not funny, but it's ironic in that is the classic definition of self-sabotage right there. The self-limiting beliefs, the negative self-talk, those are all the things that keep us stuck and prevent us from becoming what we want, right? And going after the things that we deserve. But we do it to ourselves in our belief system,
Right.
So it's that chapter absolutely hit me, and I said, yeah, that's really what the difference is, and even just how you think of and talk about yourself. I think he was using smoking as an example. He said, if you offer two people a cigarette and
Yes.
one person says, "Oh, I'm trying to quit," and the other person says, "I'm not a smoker," and even though those two statements sound very much the same, the mindset is completely different, right? In the
Right.
first example, you're basically admitting, "Well, I'm going to give this a try, but I really don't think it's going to work," right?
Yeah.
Right.
Brian, what did you or connect with in that chapter?
Oh, that was actually my favorite chapter.
Yeah.
I just think that, yeah, like I've always said this about, because I used to be in mental health, like with people that were addicted and stuff. Um, I think there's this issue, like once you're an alcoholic or you've done heroin, like there's this notion that you're always an addict. I've heard that before. If one's an addict, always an addict. That's
Right.
not true.
Right.
And I've always told them, like, like I've had clients that are years into sobriety, still saying I'm a recovering addict. No, you're not. You're not an addict. You haven't done drugs in years. Like, you have to step out of that and have a new identity, or else you're gonna keep having relapses.
Right.
So, and I think I had really success with that until the pandemic, which nobody had success with after that. But,
Yeah, that was I think you're under something. We used to get into very heated discussions about like alcoholism and drug addiction on the Jake Pentland show, which is available on our go to uncensoredradio.live and subscribe. Volume 1's out. Especially with it being classified as a disease. And I think it's an interesting discussion.
I have such a huge issue with that.
Like
I've actually lost friends about it that I don't
Yeah.
think that
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, it's a
it's a
touchy thing.
disease.
It's a touchy
I
thing.
think it's a symptom of a disease. Like the reason you're doing drugs is because you have a mental illness,
Right.
and you're trying to
Right.
self-medicate.
There's
Like you
bigger
don't have
issue.
the disease
Yeah.
is not addiction. Addiction is the symptom of the disease. And if we don't start approaching it like that, we're never going to get rid of this addiction problem, no matter what it is. Heroin, whatever. I don't
Well,
care.
and
What it
I
is.
went to. Go ahead, Cal.
I was just going to say to kind of pull on that thread a little bit. I think there's a big disconnect in the understanding of when you call someone an addict. It's like most of the things that we're talking about are simply addictive substances by their nature. And it's really just a matter of time as to when somebody is going to be overtaken by that addiction. So we're not talking, I mean, because we don't talk about addiction being like, oh, I'm addicted to chocolate milk, or I'm addicted to,
Right.
Salad, or I'm addicted. It's
Binge
a
eating.
term, right? It's a term for things that are addictive in their nature,
Mhm.
So I agree. I think also the problem with that label is it paints people as weak or making a choice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when it comes
Or
down
they're
to
in a
it,
box, like they
Right.
can't get out of that box.
right. And yeah. So
Why would you work for 10 or 20 or 30 years on yourself if no matter what you're always an addict?
right.
What if no matter what you're always a thief? If no matter what you're like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
If that's going to be the label that you
Yeah.
associate with. I agree.
Exactly.
I agree. I was just looking at my notes from that chapter as well, that, and that identity works both ways. As you said, if you identify as somebody with a lot of negative traits, well, then that's who you become.
Well, also in full disclosure, I know I can talk about this because he talks about it openly, but my husband he's 9 years clean of heroin. He was a heroin addict about 9 or 10 years ago. He had to go to rehab for a couple years and everything. But he was taking like handfuls of pills a day, like every day. I think he said at one point he was taking 60 hydrocodones every single day. I'm like, holy shit. So, but his mentality was the exact same way of what I was just saying, is that I was an addict. I had to take care of the issues that I had underlying that made me want to become addicted to something, whether
Right.
it was whatever it was, which just happened to be heroin because he got in a car accident and broke his back
Right.
and got put on opiates, and you know how that story goes. But he never labeled himself as like this is what I am. And I truly believe that Joe would never touch that stuff ever again. Joe has a hard time like even taking like
An aspirin.
or like Pepsid AC every day for his stomach because now he's addicted to Pepsid AC. I'm like, you're not addicted to Pepsid AC. You gotta take it for your damn stomach. You're old. You're not addicted.
You're old.
How old?
I think the other thing that I found really interesting is the I think it was chapter 1, the ice cube example.
Oh yeah.
And
About how you quit just to,
we always give up a
soon.
little too soon. And, for
Yeah.
those who haven't read the book yet, he gives the example of an ice cube sitting on a table. And it's, the room is 25 degrees and the goal is to melt the ice cube. So incrementally, you raise the temperature of the room by 1 degree, right? And if you give up at 31 degrees, it looks like nothing happened. But if you had waited 1 more minute until it got to 32, it would have started melting,
Yeah.
And there's actually a bunch of charts and media things that are included with the book, and even with the audio, you can go to the website and view some of them. I was looking at them earlier, and the graph that he shows of the perceived effort for something versus the actual success, and the actual outcome far exceeds your expectations if you just hang in there long enough. But there's that gap period where we give up. It's just, it feels like it's not working,
Feels like you're running in place.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think all of us, especially as Americans, are so used to instant gratification, especially nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure.
That's what we're used to. So when we have to do it, especially, as I can say this as a larger woman, trying to lose weight, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to lose 30 pounds by the end of March. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, are you like me, where you go get on the treadmill and then immediately go weigh yourself and you're pissed off when you're not down 2 pounds?
No, I have made it. I have tried to only weigh myself once a week. Wednesday mornings, that's the only time I weigh myself. Because I will do that.
Me too.
I'll get on that scale every single day and yell at myself.
You want instant results? I'll tell you the secret, okay? I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Kelly can back me up on this because it's a true story. Swear to God. God's hand. Natalia Rose, raw detox diet. We did it. 2 weeks, 30 pounds. Like that. It just kept falling
vegetables
off.
And stuff?
Yeah, it was amazing. But I mean,
But not raw meat.
No,
not raw meat.
Because that's a new thing going on.
I know. I saw that.
They posted it. One of the boys posted
Heidi
it on our show.
Montag or whatever. She was just eating a steak.
Are they doing a revival of the Santa Clara diet? What's going on?
That's
with
what
this
I thought it
crazy
was.
broad?
The Santa Clarita diet. It was like
anything to get a headline. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
The QAnon people are going to be saying that's little children they're eating.
Don't think I didn't call Katrina A. Johnson. It was like, Katrina, get your ass down to Santa Monica Boulevard with a piece of raw meat and make sure you get in front of a paparazzi, okay? She wouldn't do it. I was like,
a really bloody roast beef.
Yeah. Like, get down there.
No.
She wouldn't do it.
She was eating like a steak or something.
Right, the good friend that I am. I'm like, hello, free publicity. Go get down there with some raw meat, woman.
that was not what we were doing.
That's not what you're doing. Okay.
No, we were doing. So we were juicing every day, and actually, it did that for years. Really should.
Yeah.
And Andy
so do you
and I
only eat raw? You don't cook any of your food, basically.
No, we cooked a lot of it.
It's So her approach, it's Natalia Rose. She's got several different books, and you can follow her on Instagram and whatever. So her thing is, you set a goal towards how, you start out wherever you are in what percentage of your diet is raw versus what is cooked, right? So say you're eating, 70% fruits and vegetables, and of that 70%, 20% of that's raw and the other 50% is cooked, right? Mm-hmm. So you gradually, over a long period of time, again, this is a patience thing. It's not like you do it all at once, because if you just went to completely raw, your digestive system would pretty much shut down. You cannot.
I was like, you better go sit on the toilet.
No, the opposite. You'll get backed up because your body will try and flush the toxins. And so you'll get constipated. You won't be able to go.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So, but yeah, she's got some awesome recipes, and the
But
foundation
we
of
had a
it
lot
is
of cooked things.
we
I
did
mean,
a lot of
we had
great
the like
recipes.
eggplant steaks.
Natalia Rose.
Rose,
Everything
Natalia
was
Rose. Yep.
delicious. It's just a
me
lot
check that
of
out.
freaking prep work.
Yeah,
A
I
lot.
will. Well,
I can do
and
that.
it was having a plan. I mean, it was, and
Yeah,
we really
yeah.
do need to get back to it. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
Kelly, Andy, Joe, and I, we had dinner at least, I think, 5 nights a week.
You said you lost weight from it?
30 pounds in 2 weeks. And I mean,
Wow.
when I tell you, all we did was eat, we ate. Like, we juiced in the morning, we had like vegetables for lunch, and then at dinner time, the amount of salad that those two consumed would always, like, I'd be sitting there giggling because Andy and Kelly would just be, I mean, we ate them out of like the Gladware bowls. You know what I'm talking
the
about?
big
Like
ones.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
the
That's how I
rectangle,
eat my
like
salad.
those. We didn't
I ate
even
a salad
them
out
in,
of a
like,
mixing bowl.
yeah,
That's
yeah. That's we'd have a huge salad, and then whatever like the entree was that we made, we'd eat that. Like we ate a stupid amount of food, and in the 2 weeks, obviously, because I was the biggest one out of everybody, I lost 30 pounds in 2 weeks, and
Wow.
I didn't exercise. I just started eating like them, but it was all, you know, and
Yeah,
it
I
was.
need to.
And I tell you what, Brian, I felt the best I've ever felt, and it always pisses me off that I don't have. Um, the ambition or the
Yeah.
gumption
Well,
to
one of
to
the
to have that lifestyle.
that was one of the things that Joe and I were like focusing on because we don't like always eat as well. Especially now that we have a kid, we need to like eat a lot better because he needs to not eat like junk like we do. So like our first step was getting HelloFresh. So we've been doing HelloFresh for like 2 months now. And
Yeah,
so
Andy and I have been doing it too. How do you like it? We love it.
oh my god, I love it.
Yeah.
Like we haven't had like every single meal is good. I don't
Mhm.
Somebody post a link in that chat room so we can get paid.
HelloFresh. But so that took care of dinner. So like now like I'm gonna check out this Natalia Rose for maybe breakfast and lunch.
Listen, just go over to the house in Auburn, grab my juicer.
Oh, I have a juice. I got a Jack LaLanne. What do you mean? Why is that a bad one? Girl, don't be speaking ill of the dead. He's dead.
What's the juice? We got we have a good juicer. I have a nice juicer. We had a great recipe. It had ginger.
Is yours a ninja?
No, because it's you want something that juices, not blends. So the juicer extracts it and separates the
Yeah, that's
pulp
what the
from.
Jack LaLanne does.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
The Ninja doesn't separate it. The Ninja, I think, mixes it
Just
together.
mixes it. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we had a Breville, which
Oh,
is
okay.
really good. Yeah, we
Nice.
actually had Andy and I had two. We had this really fancy one, but it was a slow masticating one, which goes really, really slow,
Yeah.
and it's like it almost looks like a pasta machine.
Oh wow.
It takes forever, but the other Breville is
the
a high
one I
speed.
have.
No, you have a Breville too.
I thought mine
Didn't
was
you?
kind of slow, like it took forever, kind of.
Not
Wasn't
compared to
quick.
the other one, no.
Oh.
But the idea of that though is you eat the simplest foods first because your body uses less energy to digest them. That's why you start the day juicing, because it gives you quick energy for your brain and all the nutrients, all the micronutrients and everything that are in. Like our basic drink was lemons, ginger, romaine,
Apples,
and an apple. That was like the basic
beets,
recipe. Oh yeah, his favorite beets. I was
carrots,
gonna tell you.
cucumber.
But that's what we
Oh,
did with
no.
our salads
That's
though
good.
too.
Joe, oh my god,
we-
Joe bought the baby this baby food that's something in beets, bitch. I can't even look at it.
I know you hate the beets. Well, actually, that was one of our favorite salads. Remember, Jeffrey, when I would do
Yes.
the
Look,
beets
Brian,
and goat
I had
cheese,
never had a beet before Kelly came into my world. Okay,
and then I
was like,
started
I'm not gonna eat
sautéing the
this.
beets.
No,
Yeah.
like it's so bad that if I smell them, I automatically like start dry
can't even
heaving.
smell them.
I just
I-
bought
Kelly.
today at Trader Joe's.
I love
Like
beets.
I can smell them in any food. Like I don't know if I'm allergic to them or what, but like to the extent one of my first jobs when I moved out to Syracuse was I worked in a nursing home, Iroquois nursing home. And on the days that they would do beets, they would because I worked in the kitchen, they would let me go work up on the floor, so I didn't have to smell the beets because I would literally have to go stand outside.
That's such a weird issue.
I don't know what. Like, I'm the only one I know that hates them that much.
Well, speaking of hating things, we're already like 40 minutes in. Do we want to talk about some other things we hate?
Hell yeah.
Oh, some pet peeves.
Oh
Well,
yeah, pet peeves.
mine. I
Oh, just
what?
no. Sorry, go ahead. No, nothing. We're just
Yeah,
gonna sit here, stare at each other.
no. Yeah, we're gonna stare at each other. No, because I'm thinking about that thing I had posted on Facebook about what it meant to be in hell. Remember that? And I said it's people who say, especially Jeffrey.
Especially.
Especially, and what was the other one?
Specifically.
Oh, I wrote it.
Specifically,
Irregardless,
irregardless,
Oh,
and then
God.
regardless,
supposedly.
supposedly,
Oh,
Supposedly.
specifically,
Yeah.
Wait, they say supposedly?
Supposedly with a B.
Oh.
supposedly.
Oh, there's a B.
There's no B, but
No, I know there's not.
Supposedly.
But
yeah,
okay.
supposedly, yeah. Yeah, that gets me.
Regardless.
Oh, those drive me nuts too.
Yeah. So
Say
does it-
regular.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Regular?
Mm-hmm.
What do I say?
Mm-hmm. I can't tell you. You've come into Drex, and I've heard you say regular,
Regular?
Ooh.
regular,
Oh.
Regular? Oh, that's because I'm
Regular.
high.
regular.
That's just lazy talk.
Listen, I'm around Philly now, and they say water.
What?
Water? Like
Water?
water?
Yeah, water is water,
Water.
Water?
and pillow
Don't say that in the gay district.
is pillow. It's like, no, it's pillow, and they're like, no, it's pillow.
Pillow.
No, it's pillow.
What do you do with a pillow?
It's a pillow. You sleep
You
on.
pull up to
Yeah.
the pillow.
Pella. Well, it's like what Joe always said, bagel.
Oh, I have that
Bagel.
problem too. Bagel.
'Cause, yeah,
Is
buffalo.
that like
Buffalo
tomato,
thing.
tomato?
Yeah,
No, it's a buffalo thing. Bagel.
Are you
bagel.
from Buffalo?
Yeah. Kristen,
didn't
how
know
do you
that.
say it?
Bagel.
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 Do you say a lot? Because we're from
A.
outside Canada.
No.
Oh, AA.
I say it all the time. A?
You do?
All the time.
I don't think I would use it right.
Do you still say pop?
Hey,
I say soda.
Yeah, I switched.
Yeah.
I say
converted.
soda.
you know
wait,
what?
that's a
I
buffalo?
just call it Pepsi or Coke.
I don't drink it, but soda.
you
I
take
call
the
it what it
ambiguity
is.
out.
You know, we don't got no soda pop up in these parts, kids.
Soda pop.
Soda pop.
I got a Sprite. I got a Coke. I got an orange. What you need? Okay. We got no
Some
soda
crush.
pop. No soda pop up in there.
Oh my
I
god.
could have used some ginger ale today. I'll tell you that.
Oof.
Yeah. Ooh.
Got no
Did
soda
you know
pop.
there's no real ginger in ginger ale? I'm upset about it.
I have made my own.
How is that like not false advertising? Like I
Well,
feel like on the container it should say it does not contain ginger
Not just kidding.
because it's ginger ale. I don't know.
Well, orange
Like-
soda doesn't
But
contain orange.
Yeah,
But
I
it is
guess.
orange.
It has orange dye.
Yeah, it's orange.
It's orange colored.
Orange
Although
flavor.
Not
grape
really,
soda doesn't
whatever.
have any grapes in it.
Or how about banana candy or whatever? What I don't know.
Oh,
what's the
that's
one
gross. The rum.
s-
No.
And they say, but that like our bananas are not like what bananas actually taste like.
It says that on there.
No, but like the real bananas
I was like,
we
I
eat.
never saw that.
Do you guys not know this?
I don't
You
know what
this
you're
is a
talking
thing?
about.
I don't. Either.
No.
Bananas that we have are not actually like real bananas. There's some like genetic offspring or something. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
There's a candy or something that actually that's what real bananas tasted like.
Are you talking about the Runts candies that
I don't
shape like
know
a
if it was
banana?
the Runts candy, but there was something, a taffy, something, whatever.
I have
that's what a
heard
real
what you're talking about.
banana
Joe,
tasted
The
like.
Dole ship lets out right by our house.
You're welcome.
There's no way.
You're welcome.
Really?
I
I'm
don't
telling you,
understand.
go look up. Banana is not the real banana flavor. This is like a cross. What we eat is banana.
Yeah, the
It's
banana
some
we
cross.
eat today is a cross.
It's a
Jeffrey, I'm
cross.
just going to tell you that's bananas.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Listen, of course, a gay guy
Peoples
would know
and
about a banana.
bananas.
You know what I'm saying? Hello.
That wasn't lost
I'm
on
sorry.
me.
Yeah, I know. as I just went, meow, took the show off into the freaking nowhere.
As you
Um,
do. Yeah, so my
yes, well,
pet
that's why it's
peeves
in the
are.
description.
I know, and I appreciate that because it shows real self awareness. It's good. It's very good. Yeah.
I try.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna kill me later. It's like,
In his eyes.
No, I'm just looking at like how good my lighting is and how like I feel like my face.
Your
looks
lighting
good.
is really good.
It is really
it
good.
is.
My ring light. I put it on the tan look.
Oh, I didn't know I could do that.
There's a
I just
tan
always
one?
look pasty white.
Yes. Cycle through the light fixtures, kids. What are you doing with your lives?
Girl, I'm using lamps right now.
I was going to say I have a lamp.
I'm like, if I had to go old school and bust out the ring light,
Ooh, that made
do
me
this on my
blue.
phone.
Oh, now I'm orange. Is that the
that's-
one?
Yeah, I got the orange light. Yeah,
Okay. All
look,
right.
just call me
I look,
Donald.
I look a little jaundiced now.
Maybe Trump's right. It is the lighting.
Could be.
No,
No,
you
I'm
can see the
kidding.
makeup line. That's how you know.
No, he
whoever was
actually
this
uses
makeup
orange
artist was a
makeup.
Democrat.
No, he actually uses a specific makeup that's made specifically for him.
I
That's
know. He
got an
gets it
orange
from
tint
the
to it.
dollar store. That's Peach Blossom. It's a foundation called Peach Blossom. That's you ain't never see on my posts where I call it Peach Blossom.
Is that
Because he
real?
gets it- yes, he gets his foundation at the dollar store. It's
I
called
can't.
Peach Blossom.
Oh god,
How have you not
Oh.
seen me call him Peach Blossom all over the internet? It was actually trending one day.
That's
People thought it
amazing.
was hysterical. Yeah, Peach Blossom. But I did like the when somebody called him the Orange Mussolini. Or yeah,
the orange Mussolini.
I thought that was pretty good too. Sorry, didn't mean to get political.
Well,
That's
hopefully,
that's all right.
Oh.
So, any other word pet peeves?
Breakfast.
Oh, yeah, you do. You throw that out there sometimes. I think just to
Breakfast?
get that reaction.
I used to
Breakfast.
say that.
Yeah, Brian. My father would be like, "You want some breakfast?" Or we'd be like, "You want some pancakes?"
Oh, I never said that.
No.
He'd be like,
Oh, Vito.
pancakes. Oh, and then I cringe to even say this.
The M word.
No. He'd be like,
What's that?
No, don't say that word.
he'd say,
Oh,
"Can you throw me some BO juice?"
the fuck is BO juice?
Deodorant. I'm like, oh
Oh.
my god, I was traumatized as a child. Like, I'm like, what? It was just so horrifying to me.
Okay, can I just say that M word for a second because I got a really funny story. So
Moist?
one time I worked at the Olive Garden, and
I like
They
a
had
good
to
moist
have-
bread.
they had to have a conversation with the servers because a guest wrote in the comments that they were very hungry until their server came out and described the steak as moist. So they had a whole meeting about what other words we can use other than moist.
That's fantastic.
I'm like, a moist steak? What the? But anyways,
How about juicy?
that's my quick story.
No, that's fantastic. Yeah, or
Juicy.
yeah, if you don't have words that annoy
Yeah,
you,
juicy.
words that are used inappropriately.
Oh.
I didn't think about that one.
Literally.
Oh my god, I know.
Oh, yeah, that is one.
And I'm the worst person because if somebody does it around me,
Then you start doing
I
it.
start repeating them. Like, I say like all the time.
I know one-
Literally.
One word I'm sick of hearing is unprecedented.
Everything's unprecedented.
I know. I'm like, come on already.
I'm
That's
sick,
just this.
I'm sick of everybody doing their own research.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but they won't tell you where they got it from. They're like, "Oh, you must watch CNN and MSNBC." Yeah, where are you getting your news from? I do my research. Yeah, from where?
Yeah.
Where?
They look up Fox News on the internet.
I do my research.
All right, I'll stop.
Where'd you get your
No,
doctor from?
I know it. Few digs. Look, never mind.
Well, there's two other news stations called Newsmax and OAN. And
I was on Newsmax.
Okay, well, both of those started out as Russian propaganda machines,
That makes sense.
and then they were bought by like people who can do business in America. So those are like literally Russian propaganda arms that people are
Literally.
watching here in America.
Yep.
Because they're
Well,
that
I have to
stupid.
say, I was on Newsmax. They were covering the story of when they tried to throw the kids out there in remote learning because we
Oh.
were remote learning.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh, you got
Yeah.
featured on Newsmax too?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we were
Alright.
on Fox.
I
Only
know I saw
here's-
you on Fox, girl.
the
That was amazing.
crazy thing was not a single Democrat or liberal news station picked up the story. It was only the Republicans, which kind of made me feel some type of way, right? I'm like, what is this? And it was you know what I mean? They picked up the gay dad with the adopted kids. The Republicans wanted to talk about it. I'm
It's
like,
because you were following their agenda. That's why.
well, whatever. Either way,
They
thank you.
used your ass.
But the guy on Newsmax, he didn't get my name right. He literally, I'm on air with him, and he's giving out the wrong information.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about
and
that.
I'm just like, are you kidding me? And I'm correcting him. Like, I was so annoyed. I'm like, can you not read what's in front of you, bro?
No,
I'm like,
obviously.
great job. Okay, we got 10 minutes. We got to go into our.
All right. So quick. Yeah. How we're going to wrap this up in 10 minutes. I don't even remember what was the thing that we were talking about. When COVID
We were
started. Do you remember
yeah,
where you
because
were and everything? Right.
Tyler's birthday was 2 years ago. Tyler has not had a normal birthday in 2 years. And that was the day I got the call from the school district that said, we're done. There's no more school the rest of the year. And I just, we were supposed to have a birthday party for him. Everybody canceled because they started shutting us all down. We couldn't go places. And then we got that call from the school, and I'm like, he had stuff that I got him in cake or whatever. And I just sat there staring at the wall, and it felt like 2 hours because I couldn't believe that this was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, he's going to remember this for the rest of his life. Of course, he has no idea. He doesn't care. He doesn't remember. That school got canceled for the rest of the year on his birthday, and that, COVID went nuts.
I don't know. When I was a little kid, that would have been a hell of a birthday
Right?
present.
I'm like, what a birthday present. I would have been excited too. Nope, not him. You know,
Especially if you don't know what's coming. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I mean, I really did try to keep that all from them for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it either.
It's probably hard for little kids to understand too.
Right now,
without
because
being very
Gabe's just
scared.
like, when's COVID gonna end, Daddy? I want to go someplace.
I want to go someplace.
I love how you give him this gangster voice when you talk about when you do
Look,
Gabe.
you know what? You all kiss my ass because everybody's like, oh, he sounds British. Now he's gangster. I don't know what to tell y'all.
Poor Gabe.
I know it. But yeah, it was definitely intense, to have that thing. And then we started, the three of us, you, Kristen, and I, were on the phone, and you guys had brought up what was the first big moment in your life that you remember that kind of defined of holy hell, this is crazy. And you guys brought up the Challenger.
Yeah,
right?
that was my first.
Yeah, that was our age group.
Yep. They rolled the TVs into our classrooms to watch.
Yeah.
To watch the
Yeah,
space
I
shuttle.
watched it on Punky.
Punky Brewster, bitch.
Yeah, it
Me
was
too.
on Punky
I
Brewster.
love Punky
Yeah.
Brewster.
I think we were in third grade.
Yes.
Third? Yeah.
I think it was
So
9/11
too.
for our age group.
Yeah.
9/11.
And O.J. Simpson was the big thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they were rolling the TVs in for that for us.
Well, I was in 11th grade.
How much older are we?
For O.J.?
Us, you and
For
I.
1995, Brad.
Oh, OJ was a big thing, but not for me personally.
No, but I mean,
Yeah.
well, okay, in the Catholic school I was in, they were rolling TVs into the classroom when
OJ?
the verdict came out. Oh, yeah.
That's all my mom did for the months and months and months. That was the only thing on in our house.
Well, I mean, we watched
Was
it at
it
our
O.J.
house, but
Simpson?
not at school. No, our school didn't put it on TV. I went to Seward.
And then when we were in, we were in what, 6th grade when the Gulf War started?
6th or 7th. Yeah.
6.
When
I remember.
I guess I was
social
just sheltered.
studies.
I don't know.
Remember that being.
Yeah,
talked
Desert
about
Storm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Desert Storm, and then
Yeah. We had
Yeah.
kids from school that their dads got sent.
and then we had 9/11. I was a flight
Yeah.
attendant. during 9/11.
I think 9/11 was big because it was like one of the first times like we actually had done to us what the world experiences almost every single day.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Kristen, what was that
You
like
know what?
being a flight attendant during
Yeah.
9/11?
Yeah, holy shit.
It was crazy. I luckily, and I say this in respect to other flight attendants, I was not working at the time. I was actually on vacation. They had called and changed my vacation probably a couple weeks before, 3 weeks before, because I was on international at the time, the division as it was then. And they had asked me to change, and I was only going on a small vacation with my mom. So I said, sure, no problem. And we were down in Alabama, the Gulf Shores, and my ex's sisters were calling me in the morning. And I'm like, why are they calling me? Because Gulf Shores is an hour behind. So it was like 7:15 or something in the morning. And I'm like, what the hell are they calling me for? Like, what is, like, we're broken up. What's going on? So finally, after like the 10th call, I picked up the phone. I'm like, what is going on? And they're like, where are you? We just want to know you're safe. And I'm like, I'm fine. What? And they're like, haven't you seen the TV? Turn on the TV. And as soon as I turned on the TV is when the second aircraft hit the tower. And I didn't know what I was looking at. It's something you think is in a movie. You don't think it's like happening,
Right.
obviously. And I stayed on the phone with them for a couple minutes. I woke my mother up, and we just sat there. And like, you look outside, and you're looking at people on the beach, and then lunch happens, and then no one's on the beach. And then we left a few days later, and we had to drive home because obviously there was no aircrafts flying. And then I got back to Philadelphia because I was based in Philly, and I worked 7 back-to-back flights after. And we were like skeleton crews for full 321s. Or 330s, I'm sorry. So 260 some odd people. And we were 8 flight attendants and 3 pilots. And
Were people still okay traveling? Did they want to travel? Did they?
they were scared because they couldn't have anything. Like, we hardly had food to feed them. We just weren't allowed to have anything on board because we didn't know who we could trust, because there were still people bringing on, like, the guy with the sneakers and the shoelaces, like setting his shoelaces on fire. And like, there was still all of these things because TSA was like not that it is now. Like, you didn't do all that stuff.
Well, they were caught with their pants down.
Yeah.
What company did you work for?
US Airways. Now
Oh, I
American.
worked for American.
Yes, now American.
Now
So
American. That's what I worked for.
now American. So it, once we got to Europe, I mean, you're watching people, with, AK-40, I don't know, machine guns, and you get back to the States and the same thing's happening, and it's mind-boggling. And when we would I was getting into my second, third, fourth, fifth flight, the pilots are looking at me like, who else has flown so far and what's going on? And we'd have to tell people, I'd have to sit there and tell people, like, this is what's happening. I'll never forget, I had, a person freak out because they didn't want to sit next to an Indian person from India. And I said, we are a full flight. So either you don't go and you get home whenever you get home, or you sit next to this person.
Those are my favorite people. I used to be a customer service.
Yeah, we can't, we're not going to do racism here.
It was my favorite job.
We're not going to class all people together. We're not going to class black and brown people.
I wish I had a taser.
Because that's the way they want it, because you don't like it.
Yeah.
So it was tough. It was interesting. It really did not hit me until a year later. And I still really can't watch things about it. I can't watch that image. It's very difficult for me to watch it. So I tend not to.
Is that what you did for most of your career as a flight attendant, or?
I was a flight attendant for 14 years. And
wow,
then
that's a long
when
time.
Craig was too ill to take care of himself anymore is when I had to leave.
Yeah.
So long. He liked it because he got free flights.
Yeah. That's what I liked about working for American.
He would fly to Vegas in the morning and then fly home that night.
Oh my God, he's like we are. We went to Miami for the beach one day
That's
from
what he would do.
Syracuse. Yeah.
So, do I miss it? Some days. I miss my good friends. Do I miss it during COVID? No, not at all. Because
Oh God, no.
there's probably 7 people that I know that passed away due to COVID
Oh my God.
as flight attendants. So no, I don't.
Kristen, is this a friend? Is Dave a friend of yours? He said,
Yeah, Dave
my dad has to shave his beard off. He got stopped so many times on flights.
That's
Yes.
ridiculous.
my dad was born in a refugee camp, and after 9/11, because we lived so close to Canada, would have to, they would ask him for his paperwork and stuff.
Where is he a refugee from?
He was born in a refugee camp in Germany.
Germany?
Yeah, he's from Hungary originally, but he
Oh
was
wow.
in a refugee camp in Germany and was sponsored to come to the United States.
Oh, no.
So,
The hate was real,
Yeah.
which was always insane to me because.
and my dad in the summer is dark skin and bright blue eyes and dark hair. I look exactly like my mother, pale skin, red hair, but my dad is dark skin, dark hair, blue eyes. So,
It's just shocking to me that like it's 2022 and that still matters. Like what color their skin are. Like good God already.
yeah, it's disgusting.
It is.
It's disgusting.
We have not come far enough as a society.
No, we really haven't.
No.
And we keep slipping back. But I could go into a whole rampage about that.
That's next week's show.
It's because it's a good thing we're wrapping up the hour.
That'll be covered on Thursday.
I could go into a whole rampage about that.
I bet you have some really good stories from flying as well. Yeah, being a flight attendant.
Yes. The first time I talked to Jeffrey's like, "Am I shocking you?" I'm like, "Oh no, I've been on a jump seat with."
Oh no.
I always.
I had a lady one time try to bring a betta fish as a service
Carry-on?
animal. I'm not kidding you. And when I told her you can't get out because she had it in the container, they come in, and I said you're not going to be able to get on the plane with that. That's got water in it. And she said, "You're going to have to go through TSA. They won't let that go through." And she looked me dead in the face and said, "Oh, I'll just dump the water out in the beginning of the line, and then once I get through, I'll fill the water back up. He'll be fine." I was like, "No, I can't let you go. I can't give you your ticket until you do something with the betta fish because it's not a service animal." Yeah.
Well, she dumped the water out and got water after. Why? Well,
because there's a long line. I mean, I don't know that the fish is going to make it.
Die.
Well, just
Well,
roll
what
the
if she only
dice.
put 3 ounces of water in there.
I wasn't giving her a ticket. So.
In a bottle, a 3 ounce. It has to be in a measured 3 ounce bottle.
Yeah, if I set her up to TSA like that, they would have came down and said something to me.
It can't be in like a, measured 3 ounces of water.
Okay, I'm not a big fan. I think
It has to be in a
some of the
3-ounce
rules are
container.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Listen, people will try and get away with what they get away with.
Lots of stuff, yeah.
Yes. I was in the era of the service pig.
Are you okay? Do you need to lie down?
You know what I'm talking about? Brian knows
One time somebody tried to bring a damn lawnmower with him that was already used. He said, "I already dumped the gas out." I said, "It's got fumes."
I had a lady bring a Puma on.
I'm sorry, what?
You're not talking about the shoes, are you?
No, a cat.
Like in the plane, like not in a cage underneath, but
No.
like in the capsule.
Yep, she said it was her service animal, and she had paperwork, and that
You have to honor that.
climbed the walls.
Did she get did a seat for him? Like
No,
They're
it
supposed
was
to hang out.
a little. It was still small. It was like, but it was nasty.
and how did the person sitting next to her feel about that?
Didn't like it because that thing was nasty.
She wanted to sit next to the Indian person.
No, that was
No,
international.
I'm just kidding.
Put it in perspective. All right, folks, we got to wrap up. We've exceeded our hour here, so next
wow.
week we will jump into the next 3 or 4 chapters of Atomic Habits, and with this crew, we don't know. We're gonna find out whether you know what I do have to leave us with one last thing here, just because he hasn't seen this yet and he can't say anything about it. So hopefully Dana will join us.
Sometimes you end up getting where you want to go and then find out when you get there that you don't want to be where you're at. And then you feel like this is all just a waste of time. But just remember, if you never got there, then you'd always be wanting to get there, and then you don't know you don't want to be there until you get there. So sometimes you just got to go where you don't want to go, just to know that that's not where you want to be. Okay. Have a super freaking awesome rest of your day and stuff. Okay, bye.
She could be a motivational speaker.
We need to book him. He needs to be a guest.
He does.
He does.
Absolutely, yeah. So anyway, either Rodney's coming back next week. If Dana doesn't come back from Ecuador, we're going to reach out to Rodney and see if he can't join us. So on that note, have a super freaking awesome night, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.